This is a response to an email I got regarding one of Will Smith's videos about accomplishing your dreams and setting high aspirations and sacrificing everything you have to achieve these dreams, or at least to die trying. And when I was younger, I went to a Tony Robbins seminar, and it was a fire walk. So we walked in the fire. I did some other things where, like, we wrote down our fears and we put our fears in the fire, and we did all these different techniques to try to inspire us to chase our dreams, to dream the impossible, to live the life we've always imagined, and to accomplish great things and to become a success. And after I took the seminar, I was on fire. I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. And then what I slowly found, it's like these seminars or these talks or these ideologies, like the book The Secret, it's like a shot of adrenaline. We feel like we're on a high and we're going to accomplish anything. We can accomplish anything if we only imagine it, if we only work hard enough, if we only sacrifice, if we pay the price and don't listen to what other people say. All these things, we can do whatever we want to do. And what I found is that that type of philosophy or goal setting or dogma put me on a roller coaster ride, because I would set the bar so high and then I'd come back to reality, whether laziness set in or whether real life or paying bills or just surviving set in. Or it was just plain and simple, I didn't want to work that hard and sacrifice that much. The end result wasn't maybe worth it for me. And I think there's this tendency to have these golden carrots that we want to chase. I'm going to become this, I'm going to become that, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to become great, and I'm going to show people how successful I can be. And when I was younger, that was a very integral part of my thinking and beliefs. So, I put pictures up of all the possessions I was going to own, and I was going to be a millionaire by the age of whatever, 25 or something like that, and I'm going to do X, Y, and Z. And ironically, you think, those things make you happy. I ended up being more frustrated, more depressed, more down, because I could not live up to the commands or demands of my desires, my endless desires. It's just like it was not really realistic. And in Will Smith's video, he says, why do we want to be realistic? Dream big, accomplish the impossible. And what did he say? Oh, I'm glad to me it's not realistic that we could shape a piece of metal and fly across oceans. And I'm glad someone else didn't think like I did, or we would never have planes. That type of thinking. And one of the emails I got was regarding the person wants to become a professional athlete. And here's the key, and here's the distinction for me. The distinction is why. What is the motivation? Why do we want to become a millionaire? Why do we want to become famous? Why do we want to be professional athletes? Is it for the love of what we do, or is it for the end result? And that's what these motivational speakers, I think, tend to not have a good balance, is that they take what society values in Western culture. Society values fame, beauty, power, a lot of possessions, status. That's what society values. So they mold their motivational talk towards those goals and aims. And there's almost an implied or unimplied compliance in believing that what they're saying is values that we have as well, or we should adopt as well. Well, they're saying, you got to set goals, you got to do this, you got to do that, and you got to get ahead. And what I found, what is my ultimate aim? My ultimate aim is to be at peace. My ultimate aim is to wake up every day. For me, freedom is waking up every day and choosing what I want to do for that day, not having burdens, obligations, and responsibilities. Freedom for me is not forcing myself on some path that is not genuine with who I am, to a path that is maybe dictated by what society says, family says, friends say is valuable. Freedom to me is not being ruled by my ego. Oh, I have to accomplish this so I could feel good about myself, or I could show other people, that I'm a success. Freedom for me is being able to do nothing, and I'm okay with that. That my identity is not wrapped up in the external world. That I can sit and just be, and I'm content. There's not this need to this we put so much pressure and stress and angst upon ourselves, demands upon ourselves, that no wonder we're constantly frustrated. No wonder we turn to alcohol and drugs and all these different things just to escape from our own minds, to escape from our own pressures, and compile that with society's pressures. And so as I grew and as I kind of, yeah, everybody goes through stages. When in my younger stages, my teens, early 20s, I had a lot of energy and I was going to just pave a new course, a new path, and I was going to make my mark on the world. And then as one gets older, they realize, what is the cost? Yeah, to live in $1 million house, overlooking the ocean, or driving the fanciest car might seem wonderful, but what these motivational speakers don't talk about is, what is the cost. And Will Smith is, the cost doesn't matter what the cost is. Even if the cost is death, it's worth it. And to me, I now value my freedom. So if the person that he wants to be a professional athlete, you got to decide what is more important, your free time or spending 8+ hours, 6, 8 hours every day devoted just towards this goal to become a professional tennis player. Now, if sometimes the answer is no, I love tennis so much, I want to spend 6 to 8 hours every day practicing, improving, and growing. And that's the key. If it's the journey, if it's the step by step journey that you enjoy, without, even if you never accomplish the end result of becoming a famous tennis player, a professional player, but you still enjoy it, I say, man, that's the right path for you. Or people that want to become actors or actresses. If many people, what is their motivation? Their motivation is money, fame, power. Um, but if they really loved acting, they would not mind acting in a small local community play or theater and earning just enough money to get by. It's the love of what you do that really makes the difference. And generally, people in their younger years, everything is external based. So we follow what Western society dictates is should be important to us. And even many people go through their whole lives. I mean, the majority of people their whole lives is chasing carrots, these golden carrots. This will make me happy. That will make me happy when I do this. And what I found has made me happiest or the most content is shifting all that energy. Because if you're so constantly focused on external things, it's really hard to have the resources or energy to go within, to dive deep within thyself. We're talking about sending man to Mars. Sometimes I think, man, we haven't even gone and dived deep within ourselves, especially in Western culture. Why are we so concerned about going to Mars? First, let's go within. And it's so much easier to just be at peace with life, your life as it is. That doesn't mean be passive, don't do anything, but first learn who you are and be content with that in your situation and what makes you happy and what is your path in life, absent of what other people say. And then start following that path and really knowing thyself. I think that is just really the key. We're so conditioned to believe our identity is externally based on the opinions of others, on our successes, failures, accomplishments, status, things like that. And so, I love in the one of Eckhart Tolle's books, he talks about just sitting on park benches. That when he first became to awaken, he would just sit on park benches, and that would just bring him immense peace. And I think if we could get first, let that be your test. First, instead of trying to become a tennis pro, learn how to sit on park benches for hours at a time and be at peace. Then, once we get that foundation, a strong internal foundation, then you can your ego is not commanding your life and not at the driver's wheel, and you can start getting guidance because now you're in touch with your spirit or your being, your true self, and you know the direction you're supposed to be moving. And it's amazing. We just always want to start external instead of just going internal. And just take that energy and go internal and learn how to be at peace with life as it is. And then if you want to add, the whipped cream, the cherry on top by being a professional tennis player, or you want to be a sports athlete, or whatever it is your aims are, it's not with that sense of that do or die, oh my God, I got to do this, to be successful or to feel good about myself, or it's not this overwhelming pressure. And you can be in the zen of the moment. So you hit the tennis ball and you're present in that moment without having such a overwhelming burden of I have to get to this destination. Really, destination living is so dangerous, and it's really promoted like in Wilson. I'll leave a link for Will Smith's video. There's some very good things about his video, but also promoted like books like The Secret and just this whole positive thinking and believe it. If you can think it, you can achieve it. Or if you believe it, you can achieve it. And man, let's just relax. We don't have to stamp our ego on every part of planet Earth, on every part of our friends or family. We don't have to be ego stampers. Just let's chill and walk gently upon the earth. If you feel want to make your mark in the world, help others. I mean, very rare do you hear people, it's always, I want to be a famous actor, I want to be a business mogul, or I want to be a professional athlete. How often do you hear people say, you know what, I want to be the most successful volunteer that's ever lived. I want to help as many people improve their life situations as possible. Usually, depression, a quick cure for depression is to get involved in the lives of others, help other people, give of yourself in that way. And it's just always, it's important to question, what is our motive? Why do we want to achieve all these things? And is it because of our ego, or is it because that's really congruent with who we are as a human being? So I think my advice in answering response to Will Smith's video is I tend to take more of the opposite approach. I tend to say less is more, and learn how to be content right where you're at. And there's nothing you need to do. I mean, there's just absolutely nothing. What freedom! Right where you are, you're good enough. You can be happy enough. You can be at peace. All the tools you need. You don't even need to go out and put your ego stamp on anywhere, because everything you need you already have. And then from there, if you feel led in a certain direction, by all means do it. But it's without that burden. It's just it's going with the flow. You just go with the flow of life instead of trying to always fight upstream and conquering and accomplishing and achieving. And it's a very Western mentality. If we went back to Native American times, it was a completely different way of thinking, and it wasn't this, I got to make my mark and I got to conquer lands and achieve all these things. So great question. Thanks for the email. I hope this answered your question. Look forward to your comments, and Yeah, have a wonderful week.